back, sack, and crack. You've read one of them?
What, a wax?
Yeah.
No.
I had my nostrils done once.
Did you?
By accident. Well, I say by accident. I was at a hairdresser's when I was younger. And I didn't know what it was. I just saw a pot with like pink gooey stuff in. So you know what I'm like.
Yeah.
Like,
Tried to eat it, didn't you?
I did try and eat it. I was like, "Well, what's that?" She's like, "Oh, you use it to wax you, and you can do like your nostrils and this and that and other." She says, "Like, you have to put your stick up." And I was like, "Oh, can I do it?" She's like, "Yeah." So I put one up, just because I thought, "Oh, I wonder what this is like." And I was like, "Oh, that's really stuck." And I can remember I was smoking at the time. I was only a baby, and she came over, and I'm stood at the door, and she tugged it. Oh, mate, honestly, my eyes have never
You
watered.
were smoking at the door and she came over and gave you a tug.
Tugged me off the door.
You need to find out where this place was.
Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Boxing 365 for the latest episode of Tom Gets Tugged Off Outside the Barbers. And so this is the next card in the deck. And this one is going to be courtesy of Matchroom Boxing and Legacy Sports. And we'll be at the Legon Sports Stadium in Accra, Ghana. We are back in Africa.
I'm loving this little African revival. I don't want to spend too much time on that conversation, but I think it's brilliant. I think you've got Balmoral Sports Group doing some really good stuff. You've got the Chaos in the Ring, Chaos of the Ring, or whatever it's called, coming up with obviously a Coley, David Adelaide, Tony Yoka's on that card now. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And do you know what? We have a lot of African fighters come over into the UK to fight as away fighters, and we get some occasional gems. And I don't think they get the publicity. I don't think they get the credit they deserve sometimes. We've had some good fighters out of Africa, and it'll be good to get the opportunities. And Matchroom, what I'm really happy about is they've not just gone over to Africa and gone, we're going to stick a couple of our fighters on against some of their fighters, and we'll just look really good. They've actually got some fighters who aren't with Matchroom on the card, and there's an absolutely stacked list of cards. So for anyone who's interested, give it a watch. And it's good, giving opportunities to people that are slaving away out there, ready to rock and roll for a big opportunity like this. And hopefully, if they do well, we'll bring them over in some big fights in the UK, some full arenas.
Absolutely. So we'll start at the top, though, which is not inclusive of any of the African fighters at this point, both British. But Richards versus Azeez, 12 rounds at light heavy.
Yep.
Yeah, what a fight, by the way.
Do you know what? I think it's a bit of a sleeper, isn't it, this?
I think this is one where if you'd have been talking about this 3 years ago.
I was going to say 18 months, but yeah.
I'm saying 3 years because I'm thinking about when did...
Dan Azeez will still have been a bit of nobody at that point, though.
Yeah, you're right.
I think probably 2 years ago when Azeez was like, okay, when he won his European title against Grandelio, whatever his name was, and Craig Richards had, lost to Bivol and Bawaxi.
That stage,
but it was still like Craig Richards is right up and amongst it. People had been like, wow.
Yeah.
People have now, and again, a bit unfairly, it's gone, fight of the early men, fight of the journeyman, fight of this, that, and the other. And I think it's a banger.
Well, I put it down as sort of a crossroads fight.
100% a crossroads fight.
Yeah, because I think, and I did see some of the like the press conferencey stuff when they were introducing all the fights, and they did say, and Eddie said, like, this is important because the loser probably is not got a lot left.
It's a long way back for the loser on this one, 100%. Unless you're in Accra, Ghana.
Yeah. Well, I sort of think that I think that's absolutely right, and I think I don't really know who I want to win. Not yet. I think, but I do think I know who is gonna win.
I know who I think I will edge towards, which we'll go through some of the breakdowns in a minute, but it is very much a bit like the last fight we discussed with regards to Williamson and obviously Simpson, which make sure to check out because that will be out at some point. Two guys that we over the last sort of 4 or 5 years have had a lot of time for. Craig offered for us to go out and join his team in Ghana. I did explain that I don't know how much money he thinks this channel makes, but not enough to fly me and you to Ghana to spend a week with Craig Richards. But I do appreciate the offer, and I will send this video to you. Maybe if you want to pay for us to come out, then a bit of a last minute trip to Accra. But then got Dan Azeez, who was a bit of a guy who came out of nowhere, sort of a bit of a people's champion, nice kid. lost in a good fight against Joshua Buatsi in a really tough fight. Again, we were there and great fight. One of the fights of the year for that year, and it was January, weren't it? Real
It
good,
was
real
really
good
good.
fight. He just hasn't recovered, has he? He's not been able to get that momentum back. Came back against Jamai, I think his name
Yeah.
was. Drew in a fight that he probably should have lost.
Well, on paper he should have won, but on the actual night should have lost and ended up drawing it. So I mean, can't really complain from him, but
No.
everybody else will.
Yeah, and then he's just not been able to pick up any real momentum. He has got some wins back under his belt now, but against relative nobodies. But yes, your point of the fact that you've got two really likable fighters here that unfortunately someone is probably going to find themselves in no man's land for a little bit.
I think we'll just take a minute. So Craig Richards is 19-4-1, 12 knockouts. He's 35 years old now. Losses to Bivol, Hutchinson, Buatsi. Not been stopped though in any of those fights as well, which is impressive.
Yep.
Beat Shakan Pitters in 2020 to win the British title.
Yep.
Most recently fought Paddy McCrory in
Good
March
win.
and won. And I think that win did a lot for him because
100%, yeah.
it's giving him that second chance now of what happens.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of kick started it, but this is the perfect fight to try to get
100%.
him back to. And I think again, not to give the game away, I think it's a fight that he wins. To be honest with you,
I think he enters as quite a clear favourite, and I just say that more for the fact that the obviously Dan Azeez has got age on his side in regards to sort of from a youth perspective, and there's not huge amounts in it, is there?
Azeez is 36.
Shut up! I thought Azeez was 33.
No, I'm sure he's 36. And then and
Back in a minute. Dan Azeez can't. Is he
I'm sure
36?
he's
Just
36.
give your gloves up, son.
But
Give me a second, guys. While Dan's doing that, I'm doing this about a different Dan.
But
He's
yeah,
36.
yeah.
That's horrible. I hate that. That's madness.
But obviously Richard stopped Paddy McCrory as well. That was a great thing.
Yeah.
And then now we've got Azeez, who, like you say, he lost to Buatsi as well, and then lost to Louis Edmondson, who no disrespect to Louis Edmondson at all, but I think
Edmondson should currently be rated top 5
yeah,
in the world because he beat Daniel Lappin, in
I
my
think he
opinion.
beat Daniel Lappin.
And if he didn't, I appreciate it was competitive. He showed that he's able to compete at a really good level, which is no shame. If he'd have got stopped in round 2 by Daniel Lappin, people would have gone, oh.
But so that was one of those losses for Azeez that sort of aged well because we've sort of gone, actually, Louis Edmondson he's up there. But I think at the time he got put into that fight as okay, right, you've lost, you've drawn, we need to
roll the dice,
get you back, sort of thing, and it didn't work out for him.
No.
So yeah, I feel like since then, obviously, like you said, he's got back to winning ways, but not against names that we'll sort of know.
Can't really attach any credit to any of the wins he's had.
No, the last fight though, this is going to be his second fight in a row in Africa.
It is.
Because he headlined that show in Lagos in Nigeria. He beat Suleiman Adeosun by TKO in the 4th round.
Yep.
And he should have. Is the simple answer to that. So he did what he should have done. And now it's back to reality, fighting people that should be his level or even
above.
I believe above.
I think Craig's above it.
And it's just how he handles that and whether he can get himself back into big fights, make some more money before he retires because he's old as fuck.
Apparently so. Cash and grab and oh my god.
Yeah.
So my point that I was trying to get to, sorry, because I've got something I wanted to say, which is why I'm struggling to generate any other sentences. Craig Richards, I think when he went out to Ireland, there was a lot of noise about Paddy McCrory. Let's get him on. We'll show you the level he's at. Blah 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 blah. He'll prove the world that he's at this level. He'll stop Craig Richards, and then Matchroom will sign him, and he'll be one of Ireland's next stars. Obviously, I didn't quite happen, did it?
No.
But that, to me, was the fight that proved that Craig Richards has still got stuff to offer the sport. My worry in this fight, and I'll be honest, where I think it's won and lost, Dan Azeez was never particularly quick on his feet. For me, I think it's going to be scrappy. I think Craig Richards is going to run away with the first few rounds. I think Dan Azeez will get close through the middle. And then I realistically, I don't think he'll stop him. Dan's a tough guy, but I do think realistically, especially them later rounds, Dan Azeez will be walking in syrup like he tends to when they come a bit later. And I think Craig Richards will just box his head off.
Yeah, just
Craig's
picks
got
him
he's
up.
got he's got faster hands. He's got the experience at the higher level. His shot variation's always been really good. And is Craig Richards elite? Don't think so. But he's fringe world level, and I think you beat Craig, you're in amongst them conversations. And I'd like to see the winner in a big British fight, possibly against a Zach Parker,
Mm.
a Lyndon Arthur for the EBU, or maybe even an Anthony Yard would be an interesting one for any of these guys if they win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think personally, I think Dan Azeez, especially now I know he's old as fuck, he's probably going to be in treacle from about round 7.
Would you put that fight, so whoever wins, if they were to fight like a Yard or a Zach Parker, would you put that in the UK?
It depends who. If you find Zach Parker, I'd put it in the UK. But you look at someone like a Lyndon Arthur, someone like an Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard, I believe, has got Nigerian heritage. So
Yeah.
you could potentially do it out in Africa. It could find itself on a ring card because it's a big enough fight that you could stack an undercard with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good fight for anyway. I think it sells that medium-sized arena even as a main event. Does it do the O2? I don't know. Anthony Yard's got a good following, but I don't know. It'd be interesting, but I do think that'd be it. There's some really good fights in that light heavyweight scene for either of them coming out of it. But
Yeah, absolutely. Right, well, we'll move on to one that I've put on there, which might not be one that people are hugely aware of, so be prepared for names you've probably not heard. So we've got Theophilus Allotey and Raquinel for the vacant WBO Global Superfly titles. Now, Allotey is from Ghana. He's fought in Ghana so far, and ranked well, 12-0, 10 knockouts. He's only 23 years old. And I thought this fight was particularly worth a mention because this could be a real step into the limelight for an African fighter, and in a good fight where he's got a chance to win a WBO global title.
yeah.
And I think
Get
he's
himself in the
ranked
rankings, done it?
by BoxRec. He's already ranked 25th in the world.
Decent.
And his opponent is ranked 9th in the world, who is 18-2-1 with 14 knockouts, who's 28 years old, so still pretty young, really.
Yeah, still in his prime.
I sort of think this one, like I said, I'm going at it from a perspective of these cards and the going out to Africa is supposed to bring eyes to boxing in Africa, make the sport a big deal over there, and also bring eyes to some of the African fighters. And I think you're looking at somebody who's potentially got some potential
World class ability, yeah,
to
potential world class
to
ability.
go and actually make something in the lower weight divisions.
So I think I'll be honest. I don't know. You did the research for this card in regards to some of the typing up and so on, but I have a look through the card, and to be honest, because I appreciate you want to do your bit, our following, our viewership. You want to make sure that these guys get the limelight, and that is no better place than by the Boxing 365 episode of Next Card in the Deck. But there are other fighters on the card from Ghana, which again we could research and talk through. But make sure to tune in, give it some good viewership. Make sure Matchroom do make this a yearly, maybe 6-monthly thing where they go out there. And the only question I've got for you: who's gonna win?
That was a terrible joke.
I was waiting to say it early, but I didn't want to disturb you, and I just needed to get it out because my autism.
That was a terrible
It's gone
joke.
now. I'm back to normal.
Thank you. Well,
Good
in terms
fight,
of
interesting.
who is going to win,
Don't
it
tell me.
probably is Allotey for me. Or I'm hoping it is.
You're hoping it is because
I'm
you're looking at the
hoping it is.
rankings. Actually, that one of them is clearly more experienced at a certain level.
Yeah.
But you've decided you like this kid. A
We
bit
are.
like when Jermaine Franklin beat your guy. What's his name? Dobcat. Dobco. What was his name?
You've stumped me. I know
Jermaine
who
Franklin,
you
the
mean,
big
but
guy.
I can't remember
He beat
his
the big
name.
guy. The guy you decided you fell in love with for a bit.
It's amazing, isn't it? That I was so in love with him and I
And I
can't
don't even know his name. Yeah.
No, it's just me.
But this is one of those where it's like
No,
you've decided you love this kid and that's it. You're going to follow his career forever now.
I sort of think that there's a reason that he's been put in there. He's one of the higher talents. He's high up the card.
Is he 15-1? He's not.
He's 12 now.
Okay,
Allotey.
there's a fighter on the card that I did actually want to mention, but I'll be honest, I'd be lying if I said I could even remember his name. But he was fighting in the WBC Grand Prix, the one that they did in Riyadh.
Mm.
And he picked up his only loss there, and he's in again another good fight, 2 African fighters, and I just think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm excited to tune into this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch this up until about midnight, have a couple of hours, and then get up for the big one.
Well,
Well,
before we worry about that,
oh yeah,
let's just quickly cover. I did talk about as our local fans, as local as in UK fans, will probably be more interested in Leo Atang being over there. 4 rounds at heavyweight for Atang, who's only is he still 18? I think he's
yeah,
18 years
yeah.
old. He's fighting Babu Yusuf.
Unbeaten opponent.
Yeah, 3-0, so not a lot of fights going on. He's from Uganda. All of his fights have been in Uganda so far. Realistically, Leo Atang should be looking to pick up another knockout.
I hope the guy's tough
Mm.
because I'd like to.
Atang needs that.
I'd like to see Atang get the rounds. I think that's one thing that
2 fights, 2 rounds.
yeah, I'd like to with Moses as an example, and I appreciate it's hard to compare them at the minute, but Moses, one thing he's lacked throughout his career is rounds. And I think if you can get the rounds in early, that's a huge investment of time going forward into the bigger fights. I think if you can get yourself some rounds against an opponent in a card like this, I think yeah, absolutely brilliant. And what an experience for Leo as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super exciting.
In part of the press conference, Eddie was saying that AJ said before that he would love to fight in Africa.
Yeah,
It just never happened.
like to do Nigeria, wouldn't he?
And Leo's doing it already.
Yeah,
And
done.
well, as far as Eddie Earn's concerned, Leo Atang is his future AJ. So,
Yeah. And I'll be honest.
And the answer to Moses Itama.
I think Leo Atang is sensational. We've not seen enough of him yet to really understand where he can go, but from what we've seen, he's got
Yeah,
the world at his feet.
absolutely. We also have Nishant Dev.
A bit of a more controversial one. This one.
Why is it more controversial?
It's not really controversial. That's probably the wrong choice of word. He's flattered to he's flattered to deceive.
You always say that, and I still.
About Nishant Dev.
No, you just say that saying, and I still don't know what it means.
He's basically his last few performances, especially his last one where he was actually called out by Eddie Hearn in the ring for the fact that it was poor. For someone who's an Olympian, who's carrying, to be fair, as a young man, the weight of India on his shoulders to be the first world champion from India.
Yeah.
We've not seen. I was super excited when he turned pro. Seen a lot of his amateur stuff just purely through research and just sort of doing my own bits and bobbing. He's just not done what we need him to. He's on a contract with Matchroom, so he's going to continue to fight. He's in with a 7-3 or something like that.
He's 8-5.
Yeah.
Mbukwa.
Again, this kid's. The thing is with these sort of fights is, do you know, in a normal circumstance where you pay them to come over to England, they know they're coming over to lose. You're fighting in this guy's home continent. Realistically speaking, he doesn't give a shit about his journeyman record. He's coming out here to knock you out.
Yeah.
And I just think with someone like Nishant Dev, he's either going to look really good because he's going to have someone wanting to fight him instead of having to try and break down the man who's there to survive, or he could be in a bit of trouble. So I'm interested. That's why the controversial thing.
Mbukwa is
conflicting.
In his 5 losses, he has been stopped twice.
Yeah.
But he has won his last 3 fights on the bounce.
Has he?
I would say that
Serial winner.
it's designed. It's not really that much of a test. Obviously, it's part of the African card, so it's featuring some African fighters out there as well. But I would say that for Nishant Dev, he should really, against an opponent who's been hurt before, not that he's a puncher, but he should probably go out there and do some damage and impress. Like I said, if he hasn't impressed so far, this is an opportunity to impress. And then it's got to be, I mean, you'll be only 5 fights in to your professional career as a welterweight, but if you're, we've said this before, if you're proved yourself as an Olympian, you don't want to stick around for too long. I don't think. I think you've got to think about progressing.
I think it's tough though, isn't it? Because you look at that sort of Olympic, that move from amateur to pro. We saw it at the weekend. You've got the absolute one of the nation's heroes in regards to Pat McCormack, Olympic medalist, come up against the seasoned pro in Conor Walker. who hasn't had the red carpet rolled out for him and cause the upset. I've seen it with Lee Wood, Michael Conlan, very similar fight actually in a lot of ways. And I just think with these sort of fights, some take to it better than others. The thing for me with Nishant Dev, and always the tough thing is, fighters do struggle with journeyman. You see some fighters that go in there and smash through journeyman, but you then also see fighters go in there and struggle with that high guard, tucked up, there to survive.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be hard to look good against a fighter like that.
Yeah.
Because you've not got, especially if you're a counter puncher. Could you imagine Jack Catterall? Oh, sorry, pre-Bozy Ennis, because now apparently he's a puncher, but pre-Bozy Ennis against a guy who's consistently just walking backwards. Like, it just wouldn't. It
wouldn't look good.
Not if he was fighting the style of fight that he notoriously fights. So yeah, it's interesting. Still fully on the Nishant Dev train.
Brilliant.
But that's it. Thank you.
Good.
Over
Right.
now.
Let's have a look at the winners then. I will push you for an answer. So Richard Azeez.
I think it's Richards. I think pretty wide as well.
You don't really have a stake in this game, so do you want me to pick this one?
Please.
Allotey and Raquinel.
You're going to pick Allotey, yeah.
Allotey to win.
Okay.
Go on.
Come on, Allotey.
Atang and Yusuf.
Atang.
Dev?
Dev will be fine.
He'll be fine in this
He'll be fine in this one.
Okay.
We'll discuss his levels going forward.
What's going to be the fight of the night? What's going to be the best one to look at?
I'm not going to go main event again. I actually think your guy. I love a flyweight bout. I think that's going to be a banger. I think it's going to be an absolute banger.
Just trying to think. I can't remember if his opponent is Puerto Rican or from the Philippines, but he's a puncher. Good record.
He's a puncher.
Yeah, he looks good. So
18-12 or whatever it was.
I think it is going to be a good fight.
It's going to be very good. That's fight of the night for me.
Good. I'm glad.
Scorecard, you're going to ask me, aren't you? Oh, score.
Well, rating. Rate the card.
It's a really tough one because I'm trying not to choose just because I love the fact that it's in Africa, but I think that has to play its part.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat it as judging it of what I perceive the opportunities that are out in Africa. I'm going to call it an 8.
Right, okay.
The reason being is in comparison to what the African continents and nations get, the more recent Balmoral group who've been putting on the huge ones, the Coley and Adelaide and all that sort of stuff, they're mega cards for Africa. This is still a huge card for Africa, and in regards to the levels and the opportunity, it's going to be brilliant. From a production value point of view, it's going to be fantastic. Matchroom probably have the best production in for me in boxing. Yeah, good. I like it.
Good.
8.
Right. Predictions from the robot. Richards to win.
How?
By decision or late stoppage.
Okay.
He always says that.
It's a cop out.
Allotey wins by competitivity. Really? Okay. That's interesting because I'd have thought the robot would go with rankings and stuff, but it's actually backed.
Your boy.
My man. Atang to win by stoppage, Dev to win by decision.
I'm happy with all of that.
Yeah, me too.
Happy with all of that.
Right, that does, though, bring us to the end of the card and also the end of the episode. If you haven't already, please do like the video. Please let us know what you think in the comments. We are trying to make these videos a little bit quicker if we can. And make sure to subscribe and check out the next video.